Even though, did you see the last Saturday? I didn't see yesterday.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see. I was expecting an ass whooping.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I looked at the card and I go, like, this ain't a pay-per-view.
Yeah, no. That's why they didn't promote it.
Yeah.
You know, I know there was going to be a card. I just didn't have time. Yes.
I was like, this ain't a pay-per-view. Like, come on, Dana. Like,
yeah.
Like, if you're going to have Islam and Poirier, give us something. Like,
That's too much of a drop-off after.
Yeah.
This is like, come on.
I mean, you had, Strickland versus Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
And then you had Kevin Holland versus some dude I don't even know who he is. Like,
exactly.
Like, that's it. Like, come on, man. That's like $80. That's if you have the whole the ESPN Plus. Like, it's like $80 or $85. I'm just like, come on. You're basically paying that for Islam versus Poirier, which I don't even think at the time I didn't think it was gonna even be a close fight.
Yeah, it turned out to be a good fight. I didn't think it was gonna be that good of a fight.
I think what happened is I think Islam underestimated him because how easy Khabib beat him.
When it came to his wrestling and getting back up, he got up every fucking time almost. Like that I was impressed by that he was able to get up.
The thing about Islam is that he's so talented that I feel like sometimes he just goes away from the game plan. And you see Khabib sometimes be yelling at him.
Yeah. That's another part of greatness. Khabib never broke. He
doesn't break that
He
plan.
only would change game plan if somebody made him have to adjust. If you didn't do that, he's gonna stick to his game plan.
He stuck to the game plan.
Words, talking, none of that shit made him switch up. So
yeah, but if you listen to like the coaches will say that Islam was such a better striker. He's so much more talented.
Yeah, everybody that practices with him on the gym, trains practice.
Yeah,
trains
they always praise Islam's striking, and I'm like, that may be true. But that also might be the reason why he has such a hard time sometimes, because he's like, you know what? Maybe I could strike with him. Like, he'll take the gamble because he's like, hey, I'm actually a pretty good striker. Yeah, but Khabib is like, nah.
And no matter what we say, striking is always going to be,
it's a gamble.
It is a gamble, but people love it more for whatever the reason is, the highlights or whatever it is.
It's easier to understand.
Yes, that is true.
Like, getting punched in the face is easier to understand than somebody getting held against a cage. Like, most people that don't understand, they'll be like, just get off the cage. Like, but they don't understand the technique behind it. And
I'm at that point where I understand. Like, I'm fucking amazed by that shit. Like, every time I see some jiu-jitsu move, I'm like, what the fuck? Because I try to break it down so I can understand. And striking is the same thing for me. Like, I'm at that point where I like both. I'm not like, if I see a very good jiu-jitsu match or a good grappling match, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Some people are just like, but I was amazed with Poirier being able to like all the way to. I thought it was gonna be 2 rounds.
Yeah.
2 rounds.
He got all the way to the end and got choked.
Yeah. And I was looking at that choke and I'm like, was it that hard? I don't know if it was like it was. I think he was just out of breath and just.
It could be a little bit of everything, but the thing is, like, Poirier's experience. I mean, if he's getting choked, I don't think he's one to. I don't think he's one to be like, nah. Let me get out of this.
Pussy out. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're this late in the game. Like, it's like 5th round. Like, why would you tap? Unless it was really.
Yeah, and he kind of went out. Like he was to that point where he like. But that's the thing with jiu-jitsu. Some of them look like, it's not that tight, and all of a sudden,
trust me,
that's all you hear.
I've caught people with like shit that they like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Did you see? I think I sent you that clip of that Mikey. He's talking like with the last submission with the knee or whatever, the knee lock, I think it was. It was in the shin or something. I think he just won the championship or whatever. And he was talking mad shit about everybody. He's like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this kid is like, he switches off all the time. But I like it. I like when jiu-jitsu people talk like that. How about you?
Me? See, it depends. Like, if it's like to sell a fight.
Well, yes.
Then I'm like, I'm for it if it's to sell. But like, if it's just like.
Disrespectful,
like, you got to be careful because if you're.
Yeah, well, see, he. Right away when he finished the guy, he went pay respects, and he wasn't talking bad about the guy he just fought. He was talking about everybody else. Like, hey, he's been trying to fight people, and people are not passing drug tests. He's telling them, I don't give a fuck if you are on steroids, let's do it anyway.
Yeah.
And people are like just running away from it. And I'm like, this is good for the game. I want to see somebody try to shut him up. Then, that's what I'm looking for now.
Yeah, it all depends. Like, if you're trying to sell a storyline, you're trying to sell a fight, I have no problem with like people talking shit. But like when it's like, you're training, if it's like, you got to be careful because you don't know you don't know who. Like everybody knows how to hurt each other. That's you gotta understand. You don't know who you mess with and when you have to deal with them and where you see them.
With him, it's more like he's ready for in jiu-jitsu, of course. Like he's ready for whoever. He doesn't care who it is. From what it sounds like to me, it's like he feels like he's the best or whatever. I mean, in his weight class, I guess. I don't know.
I just think you gotta be careful because when you start talking like that, you start inviting. You don't know who comes to your gym, who's heard you say some shit.
Well, that's true too.
You know what I mean? Because these guys, they go to big gyms. Like I'm at like a smaller gym where I know everybody, but some of these guys, they go to big gyms where like
just random people.
Some dude from out of state may just pull up into your gym.
Yeah.
And they heard you say some slick shit.
Yeah,
and they're like, yo, you don't know anything about this guy, but this guy is like I said, everybody trains. Everybody's dangerous.
Exactly. Not everybody is.
Just because they don't fight professionally don't mean they can't hurt you.
Exactly. That's a cool thing about jiu-jitsu. You just don't fucking know.
Yeah, so I'm like, you're better off just being respectful to everybody. Like, even if he doesn't look like a threat, just pretend he is and just like.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you watched Joe Rogan, but he did an interview with damn, I'm gonna fuck him up. I can't remember which one of the fucking Gracies. The first one that fought in the UFC.
Hoist.
Yeah, he had an interview with him, and they were breaking down the whole history, which I love it. And I was just listening, like I'm like, God, I listened to that whole thing. Like I think twice I listened to the whole episode, because the strategy they had to make jiu-jitsu what it is right now and be like digestible for people on TV and like to make it blow up into a sport, like it wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an accident.
Yeah,
like these people had this plan of how they're gonna do things. By like Hoist, he could have easily hurt people, right? Like get in there, like bring him to the ground, elbow, cut him up, make him bleed. His brother and his dad were like, we're not doing any of that. If we do that, it's gonna be bad. We cannot do any of that. We have to show what the true art of it is. We could subdue anybody, whatever. And I was just like, these dudes were thinking that far ahead, like into this sport, I was just amazed by the whole thing. Because I'm like, Jesus Christ, to plan all of that ahead and all like.
Well, I don't think they were selling it at the beginning as MMA, because MMA didn't even exist.
Yeah, not back then.
I think they were just trying to sell jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it was the whole thing of like, which art is better?
Yeah.
That was what they were dealing with back then. So that's what they were trying to prove. But still, to like have the insight to do it in that fashion, not hurting nobody, trying to make it like show what the true form could do, which is, it doesn't matter the weight class, it doesn't matter anything. If you know jiu-jitsu, you have a chance against a bigger person. And to me, it was beautiful. I don't know if you listened to it, but I was like, Jesus Christ.
I've seen many different documentaries with like the whole beginning of like jiu-jitsu and how, where it all came from.
Like, did you know his dad fought somebody for like 3 hours? And then
they used to have all these challenges.
Yeah, and then he himself fought, I forget the name, but
Kimura, what I think it was.
Yeah, it's like they have the second longest fight in history, and it was like same thing. It was like an hour and something minutes.
Well, they didn't have rules back then.
Yeah, it was 2 rounds. It was like, I'm like, what?
It was like jiu-jitsu is new. Like at that time, jiu-jitsu was something that to learn jiu-jitsu, you have to be like a samurai.
Yeah.
So like you have to be like, it wasn't something taught to the world. And then that one guy ended up in Brazil. I forget his Maeda, something. I think his name was something Maeda. And he ends up training these guys. So like at this point, it's like Japan and Brazil knows jiu-jitsu. The world.
That's it.
Nobody knows shit.
Yeah.
So there was no like tournament for this. So they were like, we're good, you're good, let's just fight.
And they would challenge all these. They would do all these challenge, like the movies. Like you see the old school movies. This dojo goes to this dojo and challenges whoever.
Yeah, that's how it was. That's how it was.
I was like, Jesus Christ! Like
it was a little. Yeah, it was like the movies back in the day. Like I've heard of stories where like they would like see other guys from other gym and they would just fight them in the street. You couldn't think of doing that shit now. Like, oh, I see another jiu-jitsu gym, I'm gonna go fight him.
Like, no, I mean, and I guess it's already everybody's making too much money. It's too much money involved. Like you don't want it to be the gym that got beat. That you lose money. So I think people already it's just a business also now.
Well, they have tournaments. So if you really wanted that smoke with that gym, Like
They're
gonna send people, you send people, and you see each other at the tournament. You do it under like rules. And you know what I mean. You'll do it under those.
Nice. Yeah,
if you really wanted to do that.
Yeah, but it was just fun, like listening to him, even though it's, the English and all that stuff is a little bit. But I was just like, and he says that he's not the best one.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't the best one.
I was like, Jesus Christ, he
was like the little brother. Like,
yeah, he said like his older brothers were way better than he was. Yeah, by far.
But they didn't send him because they couldn't control him.
The dad. Yeah, exactly. The dad was like, the reason why we sent him was because he was not. We knew he was gonna follow whatever we said, but the other ones they might have just whipped somebody's ass real bad. So that's why they didn't pick anybody else. I'm like, that's crazy, and that's what I mean. Like they thought this out. Like,
well, I don't know if you know much about Pride.
I don't, but I seen some. I think I sent you something today. I was just like, yo, Pride was wild.
Yeah, Pride was wild. So Pride was like the UFC before the UFC.
Yeah.
So the better ones, they went to Pride and they were beating the brakes off everybody in Pride.
Jesus Christ.
So he was undefeated. He's never lost they said he's never lost a fight. He's never lost a practice. He's never lost a tournament. Like the older one, he's never lost anything.
That's crazy.
They said he was like the greatest jiu-jitsu fighter ever. And he went over to Pride. But the thing is, Pride was in Japan, so he wasn't.
Yeah.
If he was doing that here, he would have been fucking through the roof.
Yeah, famous. Like.
But I think that's what brought like a divide in the family. Like the whole family's all divided now.
Yeah, I know. That's why there's so many different.
Because they're like, the dude probably feels like, man, you could have made me this massive star if you would have had me here. Instead, I go to Japan and I'm killing everybody and I'm the man over there, but it's not translating over here.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is with Japan and China. They're warrior. Like culture, like those people fight. They love forever.
Well, back then in Pride, there was no testing.
Either so good.
So you can. So I'm talking about it wasn't just the best of the best. It was the best steroid up. Like it was the best on whatever.
Good old days,
whatever
man.
The fuck you had.
Good old days. I wish like there was like we have more like TV and stuff was like at where it is now, where they could have actually like capture all of this for real.
That was some wild stuff.
Yeah.
I watched the video. It was like this. I think it was this Don Cheeto. What's his name? No, Don something. Don Fry. I think his name is.
Oh yeah. The he's like a wrestler, boxer or something. Yeah, boxer.
He's like I think he's from like the West somewhere. He's like very Western
the
American shorts.
Yeah.
Bro, he got into a fight with this Japanese guy, and I swear, they just held each other from the back of the head. No defense, just punching each other in the face, like 50 straight punches to the face.
Their faces after that fight was like insane, and those people did that for no money. That's crazy.
Barely shit. So I'm like, how crazy do you gotta be to just like say, you know what, like I'm throwing.
Fuck it.
He had to have thrown the whole. That was definitely not the game plan.
No.
He had to have thrown the game plan out the window.
Just go at it
Both
like
of them,
that.
like, you know what? Screw this. Like,
and these are big dudes.
Yeah.
Like Like I seen little dudes go like, stand in the middle of the ring, and you don't see big dudes do that because it's just lights out at any moment with big dudes.
Big dudes, and probably both on some crazy steroids.
Oh yeah, definitely a steroid.
Probably some cocaine before the fight.
Yeah, those were wild days. But in a way, I wish we would bring some of that back.
But that's why you see these fighters now, like they're trying to compete with the old days, and it's like you can't, man.
No.
These guys are on coke and steroids.
They didn't give a fuck.
They didn't care.
Yeah, like the clip I sent you. The guy was like kicking on the floor. Like the dude was on the floor and he was soccer kicking.
Yeah, you were allowed to kick people in the balls back then.
Jesus Christ! I think it was Rampage. Rampage got up. I think it was Rampage. The fight I sent you. He went down and the guy soccer kicked him. He just got up. He knew he couldn't stay on the ground.
Yeah.
Where today, you would ball up into a ball and just stay there. He got up right away because he knew it was like I cannot be on the floor. And they were talking about the Joe and the Gracie guy. I'm gonna keep fucking up his name. Hoist. Yeah. They were talking about like changes that they will make to the UFC and the rules, because they say these are rules for boxing, not UFC rules or
one allows a little more, like, and one you're allowed to kick them while they're down.
Yeah.
There's no grounding rules, like.
Yeah, that's what Joe and him were pretty much saying.
That's how Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, that's how he got knocked out.
Oh yeah. I
Because
see
he
that.
was on the ground. The dude, boom, knee right to the head. Like you're not allowed that in the UFC.
Yeah, but they were arguing that they want that. They want no like because they're just like it creates all these like advantages for people.
Same thing for grapplers it does.
Yeah, and the main thing that they went at was like when you finish a round, if you're on the ground, you should get back. That's the position you should start the next round in. Because it gives the strikers advantage. It's like, oh, if I'm a striker, there's a minute left. I just stay here, wait for the round to end, and when the new round comes back,
that's interesting. That would make it more of a jiu-jitsu rule because in jiu-jitsu you're supposed to start where you left off.
Exactly. But I mean, I kind of agree with it because it will eliminate all this. It would be so much different if they did that in the UFC. It would be bad for strikers because you never get back up. Like how many fights you seen strikers just wait there on the ground for minutes and minutes? I mean, I guess it'll make it boring. So it is what it is. What do you think? Do you agree with that or no? You just say keep it.
I think start it back up. Like,
yeah, I agree because it would just be too boring. I guess at that point it was just.
I think you give the guy the round and then you start it back up.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you started on the ground, like most jiu-jitsu guys are gonna kill you. Like,
yeah, sooner or later
it's gonna be it might be even a boring fight. Like, because there's some guys that they're good at like tiring you out on the ground, but they're not submission guys. They're not flashy.
That's what I mean. Like, it might take forever because some dudes they could take it to the ground, but then after they're there,
they might just be like jumping from transition, and like trying to attempt for shit. But like, so a person that doesn't know like grappling.
They'll turn it off. It's
like, give me two strikers. Like,
like 5 minutes of somebody on the ground.
I think when you have that element of like, all right, one shot could like end this fight. I think it makes it interesting.
And you know what? That's a good point.
But if you just know this guy needs one takedown and he can just keep him for 3 straight rounds,
exactly
in that same spot,
he wins every round automatically.
You're like, come on. Yeah. I'm taking the grappler. Like, I don't have to watch this fight. Let me bet on the grappler. Let me just change the channel.
They were going on also about like no cage. That's another thing. He's like
that would change a lot too.
Yeah, because he's like people use the cage to get up. So
why don't they just watch a jiu-jitsu match?
Exactly. Well, they're jiu-jitsu guys, so you kind of Joe's a jiu-jitsu guy, so they're probably a little biased towards jiu-jitsu.
If you take the cage, then there's no way for that person to really get up.
Yeah, you have to.
You're not getting up.
Their thought process was they'll learn. Like people will adjust. People will learn to get the fuck up if you make them.
Or they might just say,
they might just kill the whole sport.
Yeah, I'm going to do boxing or something.
Exactly. I'm thinking
I'm going to do Muay Thai.
Exactly. So I get it.
I think you gotta, I don't know, just to make it interesting, you gotta give everyone a chance to do something. Like obviously the knee while you're down, that helps the jiu-jitsu guys. The cage helps the striker.
Exactly.
So you gotta give both sides something. Like
keep it neutral. Because
if you just make it up, just take anything for a striker, then it's basically a grappling match with some slaps or some punches here and there.
It kind of kills MMA.
It would kill MMA because like it'll be like if there's no cage, if it's just open floor, like
Yeah, I get it now. I thought it was interesting when they were saying it. Now I'm like,
plus like a guy who just strikes, he's gonna run to the edge. Like what happened when I go? Like I've seen this in jiu-jitsu matches where the guy runs to the edge and he gets freaking speared off the freaking platform.
Oh yeah,
to the crowd.
Exactly.
Like, so that's what you want to see. Like
exactly,
someone's gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's true. It's true. You should contain it. See, but these are all these things where like, jiu-jitsu. I mean, MMA is kind of still new a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Because it works a lot. So when you have two guys that are good at grappling, usually they're not running away from each other that much. Like they're like,
they want to engage.
Yeah, so they meet in the center and they're like, the one will shoot, one will stuff, and then, they might back out and they come back in. But when you get a striker versus a grappler, he's not gonna want to engage in that.
It just keeps.
He's gonna try to stay on the outside, so he's gonna eventually get pushed out of the freaking thing.
Exactly. It's like, and especially like those crazy strikers like Izzy. If he has a lot of space, it's like good luck trying to get close to this guy. You're not going to be able. He's just going to move out of the way. Same thing with O'Malley. Like they're going to use that space so much that strikers are not going to be able to get to them as easy because they're just going to keep you at a distance.
But if I know you have no cage to hold you up, I'm just gonna shoot.
Oh yeah, true.
There's nothing to hold you. You got nothing to hold you up.
That's true too.
I'm gonna shoot.
It's still dangerous because these motherfuckers, like O'Malley's good. Like he'll counter striking. He'll get you in there while you're trying to get in there.
I'm more likely to go crazy with us. Like if I know your grappling's as good as mine, like, and I know we're in an open floor, I'm more likely to take a crazy shot than if a cage.
That's true too.
Because there's a cage that you can use that to hold you up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm wasting energy. But if I know there's nothing to hold you up, like
once I get you down, it's
like especially
over.
if I know your striking is that much better than mine.
Yeah.
I might just fake a kick and just jump and just to make you react, to make you lift the foot.
Get you in there somewhere. All these questions, they're good. They're good. I mean, I think like I said, the sport's growing, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I want to know what they're gonna do with that show on for Mexicans Independence Day at the Sphere or whatever, because they're hyping him up so much, like Dana is, and I want to see how that's gonna look like how the visuals of that are gonna be so different.
The Sphere looks crazy. I've seen like videos.
That's what I'm saying. Like imagine being there. That's probably what the experience is gonna be if you're actually there. Like. But that's gonna cost too much money.
Yeah,
I'm down. I'll be down to go though. Have you been to a UFC like event or no?
No, I have not been.
Because we were talking about basketball, watching basketball game, watching a baseball game, watching a soccer game, hockey.
Yeah.
Imagine a fight. That energy. I'm sure that's probably the best show.
Like I have friends that do MMA, so I go to some of their events.
Like local events.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine like a UFC.
Like, with fucking 20,000 people in there. Like imagine. Yeah, that energy is definitely gonna be different.
It's wild because like it's a local thing. You know Calvin Cater, right? So,
yeah.
So it's his event.
Yeah.
And I go there and to support my some of my teammates that are doing MMA, and it's just like it's entertaining. Like everybody's so into it.
Is usually a lot of people going to these now, or is it still?
There's a good amount of people there. It's not like it's at a hotel, so it's not like a big venue.
Yeah, there's still not a big, but where they're doing it, it's pretty packed. So I'm assuming the energy is like.
Oh, the energy is high, and especially when people start drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And everybody does a little bit of training, so like there's a lot of people that they're just saying wild stuff out there. Some trying to be comedians.
Yeah.
But it is entertaining though.
I'm definitely gonna. I've been to the boxing ones. Since I interviewed some of the boxers around the area. So I've been to the boxing one. That was cool. So I can imagine
Yeah, no, it's fun. Well, the way they do it is like I guess sometimes they'll have like kickboxing matches, they'll have MMA matches, and then sometimes they'll have like jiu-jitsu matches.
Wait, so they'll mix it all in one event, or they'll do all that. Oh, that's very good then.
Like they'll start off maybe the first 2 matches are just straight jiu-jitsu. Then the next maybe 3 or 4 will be like kickboxing only, and then the rest of the matches will be like MMA. That's
interesting. That's a good idea because you got a little bit for everybody, and if you don't know that you get to experience it a little bit of both of everything.
Yeah. So
that's like kind of what isn't that what
one?
Yeah, exactly.
He does something like that. But they have their own divisions. So he has like a jiu-jitsu champion. And then sometimes what he did this with Mighty Mouse is where he had him fight Ra Tang. Yeah. And that dude is like crazy at Muay Thai. So they did MMA / Muay Thai, but like they did 1 round MMA, 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round MMA.
That's crazy.
So they started off Muay Thai.
And then they switch it.
Then they switched off to MMA, and obviously once they went MMA, it was over. Like he took him down, choked him out. Like goodbye.
Yeah, but that's crazy to me. Like to like handicap a fighter like that because you're in a fight.
Yeah.
And then you're telling me like my instincts are gonna probably take over that shit. Like if I'm getting my ass kicked, I'm like, hey, I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's why they're professionals.
Yeah, I mean they'll put something. I mean somebody doesn't get paid or something if they break the rules, but fuck that. I think something like that happened already where. I can't remember the fight. I'm not gonna remember it, but it was in the UFC, or not in the UFC. I think it's somewhere in Japan where they agreed that they were gonna no kicking, like a boxer agreed to fight like a kickboxer or something like that, and the first thing was no kicking allowed. First thing the kickboxer there, right in the knee, right in the leg. So it's like you could agree to whatever you want, but once that bell rings, it is what it is. It's a fight at the end of the day. So,
yeah, I mean, But luckily, Mighty Mouse is a professional.
Exactly.
I mean, Ra Tang is just he was gonna do his same strategy whether it was MMA or kickboxing.
Exactly.
Because that's his style. He wasn't gonna just become a grappler out of nowhere.
But Mighty Mouse is special, man. People don't give that guy enough credit.
Well, the UFC kind of did him dirty.
That's what I'm saying. Like they talk about all these like best fighters and they leave him out of it. I'm like, how the fuck like you gonna leave that guy out of it?
Well, the thing about Mighty was that he wasn't like a Conor McGregor. Like he wasn't talking shit. He wasn't disrespecting opponents. Like he was just winning fights, even though it was like entertaining.
Yeah, but still, to me, still like you like okay, he might not be the top seller, but you got to put him up there as the resume will speak for itself. So it's just to me, it's like you have to.
But that's how the UFC is, man. With Dana, they're petty. We're like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Francis. Like as soon as Francis left, it's like he's like a nobody to them.
Yeah, it's like they don't mention that guy at all. So same thing. Yeah, but still,
like once they don't have control over you, that's like
it's over. Yeah.
But that was Mighty's problem was he wasn't like selling, but you know his division. He kind of cleaned out his division.
Do you think also it might be because of the era? You know, he wasn't early, like the UFC wasn't as big as it is like now, you know. So maybe people didn't have the appreciation for it.
I don't think so. I think what it is like, I think he cleaned up, like his division is a small, I think it was a 125.
I think it's
a 125.
And that division is already always shaky.
That division usually has like very little people.
Yeah.
And he cleaned it up. He was beating up everybody. So like,
did he move up?
He didn't want to move up.
Okay. So yeah, that's.
But think about it right now. Like, who's the 120? Do you know who I know who it is, but do you know who the 125 champion is right now?
Isn't it Moreno? Oh no, Moreno moved up.
Not Moreno. He was there for a while, but it's not him.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Then that was the Mexican guy.
Moreno. Then there was
the Brazilian
guy.
Shit, I'm not gonna remember.
But then I'll tell you the champion right now is Pantoja.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
he just had a fight not too long ago.
Yeah,
and not many people watched.
Yeah. That division is tough.
So it's not really Mighty Mouse's fault. It's just that division is a tough division to sell.
But
because they're 125, they're very small, and there's not a lot of guys in that division.
Why didn't he just move up? Like
I think because he's just naturally just a small guy, and probably that's extra 10 pounds. He was like, eh.
Yeah, I guess. But still, he was so good. I would have liked him to.
He could have. I think he could have done well if he would moved up. I just think he just didn't see a reason to
at that time. All right, well, let's switch up into what's popping right now, which is basketball. I want to start with. We're gonna get into Boston and all that, but I want to start with the playoff till the finals. So, what did you think of the playoffs? Did you think the playoffs lived up to the hype, or all the injuries and all that stuff? Do you think it was a little bit of a letdown?
I mean, obviously, on the East, like it was obviously underwhelming because of all the injuries. Yeah,
it was like what was the longest series? 6 games? No, 7.
Was that one for the Celtics or for
no,
we had 7. We had some 7 games. We had the Knicks had a 7 game with Pacers.
Knicks against the Pacers. And
the Knicks went 6 with Philly.
Yep. That's about it.
There wasn't. I think the best series out of the East was probably the Knicks versus the
Pacers.
The Pacers. I thought that was the most back and forth. But like,
and even in that, injuries played a whole role in that.
But like I was arguing with some of my friends, is like part of these injuries is planning throughout the season.
It's part of it. That's is a war of attrition. You have to account for that as a professional. Yeah. Like, you can't use that as an excuse because that's part of it.
Yeah, because I'm like, you look at a lot of these Tibbs teams, all these Derrick Rose teams, they all of them are plagued with injuries.
Yeah, that's a narrative, and it's true based on history. That he's always had that issue of just running their star players to the ground.
That's what they do. If you look at the Celtics, like towards the end of the season, you would see Jaylen Brown would play, Tatum wouldn't play. Then the next game, the other one wouldn't play.
Yeah,
they were resting guys, getting ready for the playoffs. What they did was they won early, got a huge lead on the East, and then they were like, all right, we'll rest some of these guys towards the end of the season. And also, if you notice, like there were games where we were down a lot, like in the third quarter, and we could have probably came back and maybe made it a game.
But they
didn't. They wouldn't. They would be like, you know what? We'll put in the other guys in. We'll try new different strategies and stuff. Like he wouldn't force the issue. He would be like, all right, we're down. We'll lose this one, but we're up so much on the East. But there's no need for me to
go back. Yeah,
that was the game that Giannis got hurt.
Yes,
we were down big.
They
Celtics said because they could have like brought in their guys and tried to came back, and they're like, nah, we'll put in the reserves. Giannis stayed in. He gets hurt, and that's when I said that's team managing.
Exactly, that's part of coaching and whoever's strategizing. Like,
and that's what a lot of teams were plagued with. You know, you can't blame, in my opinion, you can't blame the Celtics because these other teams aren't planning right.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're, you know, and I already see it. If we win, they're gonna.
Oh, they're already. I'm people in my DMs now. Like,
it's gonna be worse than the whole bubble championship. Like, I already see it. Like,
but I tell some of these guys, like, you weren't saying this when other teams won.
Exactly.
Like, for example, like the year Giannis won, when he played the Brooklyn, both Kyrie and Harden were hurt. You didn't say none of that stuff.
There, yeah.
You know what I mean? That last year when Denver played, when they played Miami, they were all banged up. We were talking about like, damn, Miami, like they basically got banged up playing against Celtics. Like no one was saying, oh, Miami.
Exactly.
You gave them their credit. You gave them their flowers. The Warriors' first championship.
Yeah.
Kyrie and Kevin Love were hurt. Nobody said anything about that.
Nobody took.
Or when LeBron went to the finals versus us, we had Kyrie and Gordon Hayward out. No one said, oh, you 7 games versus the Celtics missing their 2 best players. Like they just said, oh, LeBron again to the champ.
Exactly.
Nobody said anything. And I can keep going on and on and on. Every year there's injury. That's why the playoffs is so hard.
That's what makes the whole, you know, if the championships were played at the beginning of the fucking season, then whoever has the best players with the best teams will always win.
Yes.
Basically. So.
I mean, the real discussion is, you know, what's going on with these players? Why are they all getting hurt? And all these calf injuries. Like, what the heck? Like, it's funny.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
It's funny because Adam Silver comes up with this rule where you have to play 60-something games to get all these awards. And then all of a sudden, everybody's getting hurt.
Yeah, that's a little... With all the... There's one guy not getting hurt. I don't know what it is. I don't know. The guy eats different. The guy...
I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I'm not going to say no names, but the guy, I don't know what it is, but he's the only one immune to injuries. Yeah. It's amazing. I don't know. All I know is whenever he dies, I want a study being done because I want some of whatever he has. Because it's starting to get a little fucking weird.
It is, and it's funny because nobody talks about it. They're like afraid to say like, oh. Well.
I saw a video and I sent it to you where this guy's played the sons of the players that he already faced. That's insane. Like, this is basketball. This ain't baseball where you're not using physicality. You could coast. This ain't that. Like, you need to be somewhat of an athlete to face young dudes all the time and keep up. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I guess
he's probably still healthy.
Special.
He's probably still healthier than the Suns too.
But like, it's fucking crazy. Like, look how long ago Dwayne Wade retired. Look at like all his peers are long gone. Yeah, it's like
Bosh.
This guy's still averaging 27 and 7. I don't know. Whatever though. He's not in the playoffs.
Yeah, something to be discussed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it is what it is.
Do you think I was thinking about this because like I was arguing with my cousin about this about like the viewership in the finals.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, I was like, do you think the NBA? This is part of the NBA's fault because all year long, all they do is promote Steph Curry, LeBron. KD,
players, yeah,
and then we all know that they're not going to the finals. So why we keep doing this?
Exactly.
Like, why not promote some of the young guys that have a chance to go to the finals? So people that maybe don't normally watch basketball, they get an opportunity to like actually go check these guys out.
Yeah, like OKC is a very good example of that. I think OKC was a great young team, and they went unnoticed. Like,
Minnesota went unnoticed too.
Exactly, till the end.
To the very end when they beat Denver.
Yeah, when the games became important, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but they were there the whole. You should have built these people up.
Even Denver sometimes you don't really.
Yeah.
Like I guarantee you the conversation's gonna be like, where's Bronny going for the draft? That's like where it's going next.
I hope not. I hope that's not what we're listening to this whole summer when there's no basketball. I hope that's not what the conversation is, because it's like if whoever falls for this it's like, this guy is not gonna play for, even if he gets drafted, he's not gonna be talked about in the NBA daily. Like, he's just gonna be another guy in a roster for a while. He might be good. He might turn out good later on, but right now, so I hope they don't do that, because it's just.
I mean, it's the media's fault, in my opinion. Like, why things like that happen.
Yeah, it's like there's plenty of other stuff that they could talk about that are more interesting than Bronny James and whatever.
LeBron and KD and like Steph Curry. Like, these are great players, but like,
it's over. It's over for
if
them.
they're not going to like, if you can see it in the like written on the walls, like, these guys aren't going to the finals. Like, can we promote some of these other good teams that?
Yeah, I forget who it was. I think it was the podcast with the guy from Atlanta.
Jeff Teague.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
He's real. Like, he's just saying shit that I'm like, yo, I don't think you should be saying this shit. But
he don't care. So
yeah, he was saying that he's like, the only way KD, Steph, and LeBron are gonna make it back to a finals is if they bring back the Avengers and they all team up. Like, so please, like, he was just like, to
be honest with you, I don't even believe that's anymore.
Yeah, even that for me would be like, I don't know. Like,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at KD getting swept with Booker, like, and I'm just like, I don't know what
video. You sent me that video of him in the club, and I was just like, yo, this guy. I think he's going through something. I think the guy has some issues going on, like, outside of basketball.
He might be having a crisis.
I don't know. All that weed.
The weed. I mean,
I don't know, because it's like, bro, it's like. Yeah, you hate, like, people talking about basketball to you. Like, nobody could talk about basketball to you, but then you're in a club, like, taking shots at, like Jesus Christ. You should have been doing that before you got eliminated.
Yeah,
you know?
Nah, it's just funny because like, you know, like, what more can we give this guy? Like, I mean, that obviously that Warriors situation was like the best situation ever. And honestly, looking at it now, I'm like, damn, he should have just stayed. I
would have stayed.
Yeah, he should have just stayed.
But this is the thing, right? People are looking at Pippen and Jordan's situation. Pippen fucked that up. Yeah, you were not going to be Jordan, but you could have been celebrated along. If he had a better attitude and dealt with it better, I think he would even be higher in people's minds. Because Pippen was a great player to me. I love Pippen's game. But it's like the way he goes about it is like, dude, you're ruining your whole fucking, like, legacy by your fucking self for no goddamn reason. And everybody's afraid of being number 2 now. And to me, that's a little whack, which is smart. You see what a kid did? What he's trying to do?
Oh, Jason Kidd, yeah.
I'm like, motherfucker, you play my games.
Yeah, I was telling my boys, I'm like, that's how you know he watched film all night and was like, all right, I can't beat this team.
Yeah.
Let me just say some wild stuff.
Yeah, let me try to break him up inside and see if something happens. Maybe Jason comes out and try to prove something. And like,
honestly, I think Jason was going to try to prove something regardless if he said anything.
Game 2?
Yeah, I mean, you just scored 16. I think as a team, they were gonna like let him do it.
Yeah,
like if you're one of his teammates and you know he had a bad game and like especially the media's killing him, like you're gonna get him some more shots.
Yeah, you push him.
But I think the Celtics, they have like a balance and like they understand their role, like compared to like other teams.
Yeah, which was missing for a while with them.
Yes, you're right. They had an identity like crisis because like you had Smart, who thought he was like part of the top.
Yeah,
you know, it was really Tatum and Brown's team, but he I don't think he understood, like, all right, I gotta let these guys, I gotta kind of be like big brother, but I gotta bring it back, let them like kind of take us there.
It's kind of what like Al did always. Like,
yeah, Smart should have been like Al, like you said. He should have been more like an Al, like the wise older brother. Like, let me give him.
He would have still been here.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I like Smart.
Me too.
It's kind of, I'm like watching. I'm like, damn, you know, we're gonna win this without Smart. Like he was through all those battles.
I'll be pissed if I was Smart.
Yeah, I'll be mad if I was Smart. But I was like, damn, you know, like, because I like Smart. I mean, you know, like he was like our heart and soul for all those years.
Exactly. It was Like he could have been Drew Holiday. Like Drew just does his job. He don't talk much. He don't want attention. He just does his job and goes home.
Yeah.
Smart wanted attention.
Yeah, he did.
Wanted attention.
That's what got him.
That's the killer.
But the funny thing is, like, they weren't even originally going to trade him.
No, yeah.
The only reason why they traded him was because it's Porzingis. They were going to trade Brogdon. Brogdon was in that deal, but he had like some physical stuff. Something wasn't checking out right. So because I think the trade was going to be with the Clippers though. He was supposed to go to the Clippers.
Yeah.
But they wanted to do more more testing, and they needed more time. But the trade needed to happen within that window.
Yeah.
So they ended up like having to renegotiate it with like the Memphis.
Exactly. That was the 3-team trade.
Yeah. So they had to bring Memphis involved, and Memphis didn't want Brogdon.
Exactly.
They wanted Smart. So like, all right. But then Brogdon got pissed off. He's like, "Oh, you put me in this trade."
Exactly.
So now you gotta trade
him anyway. Yeah.
Now you gotta trade him too.
It's tough. I would not like to manage
it's tough.
a team. Yeah.
But I think even though that I don't think that was their original plan to get rid of Smart, I think it worked out because Jaylen Brown was able to like be the alpha dog.
Yeah, it's like in our last interview. Well, it's not even a fucking interview at this point, but you said that like Smart, he just needed like if the other two looked at him like it's the big brother, so
yeah.
they respect him, so they wouldn't just like put him in his place, sort of say,
yeah,
because of that. He was been there longer, he's the older guy. They didn't like just like, yo, you said that in the last time we talked, and I agree with that. It was just like somebody needed to like just like, hey, take the back seat, man.
Yeah. So Brad Stevens said, all right, well, he'll do it. He'll take charge of that, and got rid of Smart. Now, Brown, you have no choice, and they paid you all this money.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess it worked out for us. Our team is, like all around, we got the best team.
Oh yeah, but yeah, all year it's been like that. That's why I was arguing with my cousin about this, because he was like, "Oh, you guys are in the final because of all these injuries." But I'm like, we were the best team all year. Everybody and their mama had us going to the finals.
Exactly.
For the last 3 years,
exactly.
We have been the team. Like Warriors went to the finals last year. We should have went to the finals.
Exactly.
This year, last 3 years, we have been the team that everybody was like, they need to be in the they should be in the final.
Exactly. If you look at, for all the stat people, if you look at the stats, the most dominant team throughout the season has been the Boston Celtics. So it is what it is.
They have in history. There hasn't been a team in NBA history to win 3 games by 50 plus.
Yeah, like as many times as they did.
Yeah, they did it 3 times in a season. That's never been done. They've won 3 games. And then they have the most, in this season, they have the most 20-point victories and 10 double-digit victories like out of any teams. So they were, if you look at a lot of their games, I think they had around like 18 games where they blew out teams by 20, then 9 games when they blew them out by 30.
Yeah.
So they were just blowing out teams left and right.
Exactly. And I felt like that was going to hurt us in the playoffs, because I'm like, oh, we're coasting. We're not getting tested. Like, what's going to happen when we get tested?
Well, I think that helped us in a sense of injured health.
Yes, exactly. Because Porzingis is definitely injury prone. And, Al's getting older. The 2 young dudes, they're young. They I mean, fuck, this guy has never missed a playoff game, Tatum. So I wasn't worried about them, but I was worried about like the other defender dudes. I was like, because they're older, like, right? Al is a little bit older, Drew's a little bit older. So I'm like, but we made it here, and everybody's healthy, it seems like. So I think we should win. I was a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie, with Dallas a little bit.
Oh, were you scared?
Yeah. Then I seen the first game and I was like, okay.
I kept saying Celtics in 4. Everybody's like, oh, you're crazy. I mean, I don't know if it would be in 4, maybe it's in 5, but I was that confident.
I think Kyrie and Luka could take a game, right? I think they can. I was worried about like a game 7, which I think I told you. I was like, I just don't want this to be a game 7. Like, as long as we don't make it to game 7, my money is on the Celtics. And even if we got to game 7, I'm not going to switch up. But I was like, oh, fuck. I was going to be worried. But it is what it is now.
Well, the thing is, we're a matchup nightmare for them.
Yeah. Everywhere.
And if you pay attention to the game, like, Celtics is playing chess with them on the defensive end.
Yes.
Like, when they have Porzingis out there, because, like, see, Dallas, they like to do a lot of screen and rolls. So they'll take Gafford or Lively, and they'll do a screen and roll, and they'll try to make you switch so Luka can get the weaker defender, your big guy, and then he'll have that dude roll, and he has the alley, the alley option. So what Celtics is doing is they're a lot of times, like if say Porzingis is on there, he'll cover like PJ Washington, and they'll have Tatum cover Gafford.
So that takes that lock.
So when you do that, so when he does that, what they do is they just switch. Now you got Tatum, and then he'll cover like a PJ or something who's gonna stand in the corner. Like Porzingis was just stand in the corner with him. Yeah, so they're trying to they're trying to avoid him from getting on those screens.
That's one thing because everybody was saying about Tatum had a bad game, but if you break it down, like he didn't. Like scoring wise, yes, but everywhere else he was very instrumental to our win. Like his rebound, like I forget how many rebounds he had.
I think 11.
Yeah, he had like 11 rebounds. That was huge.
He's been our best rebounder.
Exactly. So it's like he didn't give you the points, but he affected the game a lot in different ways. And
well, part of the reason why he's been so good at rebounding is like I said, is like the way Celtics is playing chess on offense. What they're doing is when they have Porzingis on those pick and pops, he's dragging that big man out.
Exactly.
So now you have to close out on this three. So when his shots go up, now Tatum is going to the rim and he has guards in there.
He's fucking huge. He's not like he's small.
So because of Al Horford and Porzingis playing out on the 3-point line, and the way they're shooting, they're forcing those bigs to get out of the paint.
Exactly. And our floor, because of Al and Porzingis could shoot so well, they have so much space. Like that's why people talk about our threes, but it's all on kickouts.
Yeah.
Some Tatum or Brown drive down the lane and kick it out to a 3-point.
Yeah, I think Tatum led us in assists from doing that.
Yeah.
People killed Tatum over that 16, but I'm like, he took 16 shots. It was 6 for 16. It wasn't great.
We were up. It's like it was easy. So it's it's like what?
He didn't have to force much more. But
exactly.
Luka took 26 shots to get 30. I'm like, all right, give Tatum another 10 more shots to get 26.
And exactly.
He would have had 20 something. Like
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like give him another 10 shots. He would have got fouled maybe a few more times. Maybe he ends up with 26 with 10 more shots.
And then people are not talking about
it. Then we're talking 26, 11, and 6.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what I mean. Like if you don't, I love basketball. Like I watch the game and I break it down like if I was an analysis. And now that I talk about it, I kind of look at it that way a little bit. But to me, I was just like, this guy is getting so much like.
Yeah, he's getting kills because.
I was like, he did not play bad. Like what the fuck?
I'm like. Jason Tatum's strategy was to make sure Tatum didn't score. Like every time he drove, if you watch it, like they're just collapsing on him. They're clogging the paint. And this is why he's able to find guys. All right, if he's not that good, why you keep doing that? Why don't this game you don't do that? You do it for Brown, don't do it for Tatum and see what happens.
Exactly. I want to switch a little bit. I want to go back to the West because I think we're going ahead a little bit into the finals. I want to end in the finals. I want, with this game coming up. In the West, were you surprised by anything? I was, and I'll say mine. I was surprised by Dallas. I did not see this coming because of what happened last season. I was just like, I was one of those people that I'm like, Kyrie is not gonna mix well with this dude. They're gonna have issues. That's what I was thinking. But Kyrie has done a fucking 360 and he's like he's on, I don't know, sage mode, whatever you want to call it. He's just in a different spiritual, I've never seen him like that. This guy is before this guy would not talk to the media. He's answering every questions, no problem. I'm like, whoa. That's why I was scared too, because I'm like, this motherfucker, that's all I need for him to actually not be distracted in that way, because he's always been a great player. My issues with Kyrie's always been off the court, but now it seems like he got it figured out. So I was a little bit scared. So I was surprised by them, and then of course with Ant and the Wolves. What about you?
Me, I'll be honest with you. Dallas, I had them in the Western Conference Finals.
You did?
Yeah, I was arguing with well, the thing is right. So my friends and we always argue about who's the best players, and Tatum, Luka, and I was kind of shitting on Luka. I'm like, Luka has a really good team, and he's never getting to the Western Conference Finals, but I think his team is good enough to get there. Yeah, so that was the whole argument, and they were like, "Oh, you're crazy. He's always carrying this. He doesn't have any players." I'm like, if you look at his players and you go player by player, they're good enough. If you look at his side of the bracket, I'm like, they can beat the Clippers. And if they beat the Clippers, they can beat a young OKC.
And they always make the playoffs.
Yeah,
they just don't do well in the playoffs. So he himself.
So that's why I kind of got into that with them about it, like breaking down like the Mavs. I'm like, the Mavs are good enough to get to the Western Conference Finals, but nobody ever shits on Luka when he fails or anything. So I'm like, but I mean,
the numbers always fool people.
Yeah.
Like the numbers always fool people. It's like if you put up good number, if you have good stats, okay, you play well. That's not always true.
And I'm like, so I was like, listen, their team. I had them going to the Western Conference Final. I didn't have them going to the finals, but I had them.
Yeah,
because
that's higher than anybody I've heard. Even like that's higher than anybody I've heard. Even like on Sports Center and all those shows.
Oh yeah, no, I got receipts. I was arguing with them. I was arguing with them all like since the beginning of the playoffs. I was like, because it was all about. It all started about Luka, like Luka and Tatum. That's basically how it started. I'm like, Tatum gets killed, like his team could win by 40, but he had 15 and he's gonna get smoked. Like Luka. You know what I'm saying?
Tatum's taking his teams to the finals.
Yeah, I'm like,
Luka's getting bounced out. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, Tatum has been to 2 finals now. He's been out of the last, I think it's 7 years. He's been to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, come on.
What are we doing?
Like, why are we? Like,
he's so young too. It's like, come on.
And he's like only like 26. So and I'm like, I would be with it if you were killing everybody else. If that was the standard, but if you just hold it for one guy, then I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
You got to do it for everybody.
I guess Boston is not paying somewhere in the media as much as other teams.
So I was like, I think it's because of the Europeans. I think they're afraid to criticize the Europeans for whatever reason. Because like how much European like criticism you ever hear?
That's true.
You don't hear much of it. So I'm like, I think there's something there. Because I'm like, come on, he's been in the league for 6 years. I'm like, they killed Ant-Man after he got eliminated.
One game,
they smoked him like. They killed him, and I'm just like, "Are you serious? This is his first time in the like." Luka's been to the Western Conference Finals before, and nobody did him dirty after he lost. Like,
exactly.
Why you? And he was the only one playing well for Minnesota, and he got killed. So that was my whole thing. I'm like, why don't people kill him when he has pieces to get to these things? And his side of the bracket, I'm like, man, I like the Clippers, but they're just bad luck. I don't know what it is with them, but. There's always something with them.
I'll say it. I think every team without a real like leader when it comes to like I don't think to me it's like those great players but lack leadership. I don't trust them ever. KD, I've always questioned leadership. Like, okay, you are gonna get yours. We all know you will get yours. What are you doing outside of that? Are you talking to your teammates? Are you setting up practice? Are you doing the extra shit that's gonna make you gel together and bring the team? Like, are you doing all these extra shit? No, obviously he never does. No. Like, if the reports are like this guy's been like this everywhere, he's gone. So he kind of retrieved. Like, he plays the basketball game, then he leaves and he's in his own little world after that. Same thing with Kawhi. Same thing with like I think PG likes ball and he like tries, but I think he's just injury prone.
I mean, but he wasn't even injured this time. Though.
I know.
I mean, you have Harden. You had all these pieces.
Yeah, but I think the whole thing, they didn't play together. They barely played together. Like everybody was. I think it was like less than 20 games that all 3 of them played together.
To be honest with you, I think they just have bad luck.
But
I think it's year after year we say the same thing.
But it's crazy. Like Kawhi is always hurt. Like it's incredible.
Something's up with that.
Yeah, like it's like, but then there's no surgeries real going on. Like there's no major. It's just he's hurt. Like, okay, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like top players that are like that all the time. Like if you like, to me, it's just like, all right, like I can't put you at the top if you.
I think didn't he make the All NBA team? I think this is the most.
It was crazy. He made LeBron didn't make it, but he did.
No, LeBron made it.
It was somewhere where him and LeBron, I think it was on defense, where like he was higher. Like he was listed higher than LeBron James, but then the numbers was like, how? Like you looked at the numbers, you're like, he didn't play. Like it's not possible.
Yeah.
But he was higher in the list.
I know LeBron and AD both made All NBA team, which I thought that was wild.
Both of them, yeah.
I'm like, how? The thing is like, listen, and people gonna say, oh, you're a Boston fan, but I'm like, when you have the #1 team.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy.
How do you
that was fucking crazy.
How do you not have?
Yeah,
I saw that was nuts. You saw the Suns had 2 guys in there. The Lakers have 2 guys in there.
Yep.
And we're the #1 team. How isn't Brown in there?
Exactly. That was crazy.
That was wild to me. I'm like, how isn't Brown in there? Like how did you take somebody off of that?
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think didn't. No, I thought Kings had 2, but they might have not. I think Sabonis made it. I don't think Fox made it.
Yeah, I don't think Fox made it.
But I was just like, you got to throw Brown in there, man.
Yeah, but people got to respect the Celtics.
And then Coach of the Year, we weren't involved in that
at all. I was talking shit about this guy, but this guy clearly is a fucking brainiac. Mazzulla,
he's been doing his thing.
Yeah, I've been impressed by his coach, the way he's doing when coaching and keeping everybody straight, and like everybody seems to follow the game plan always.
Yeah. Well, you got to think he's our age.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So can you imagine being in the finals coaching
the first time, and it was on like he didn't even know. Like it was just like the shit happened with the other guy.
Yeah. You show up to work, and it's like, oh, you're the CEO now. Like what? Yeah, wait a minute, this is my first year. Like,
and you make it all the way to the semifinals, and then people still talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that I thought they were unfair a little bit. Like you got to give him some time, and I think especially if he wins this year, he might be the coach for a long time.
He should already. In my mind, I think he earned that already. To me, but
yeah,
who knows?
I think when it comes to Celtics, I'm like, what the heck, like
yeah. But
like the only place they gave us any love was on defense when they had Holiday and White. They both made all defensive. But I'm like, damn, like
why is Boston so hated? Everybody hates Boston, bro. I don't know what it is.
I think it's us. I think it's the fans they hate.
Well, fuck it. I love the fans
because we win petty.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
when I win, yeah, I start DMing people. That's it. Yeah, but I hold receipts. Like it's funny, like because like you know how Brown, like I've been arguing with people about Brown about like because they're saying, oh, trade Brown. I'm like, why? Brown, I've been saying for a long time, Brown is one of the best two-way players in the league, especially at his position. I'm like, the only people that you can argue at the time with me would be like Booker and Ant-Man. Like those are the only people you can argue. And now I'm like, you better not bring Booker in a conversation with me with that.
No.
After they just got swept and he has KD.
It's over, yeah.
You better not.
Yeah, those three, it's done for me.
Now you can, the only person I'll accept an argument is Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Because I like Ant-Man, but outside of that, I'm like, you better not argue. Like JB, he deserves that respect.
Exactly.
So I started messaging people, especially because like they like to like talk shit like, oh, you heard what Kid said? He's like, I'm like, first of all, like, come on, you were saying Jaylen Brown was not that good. Now you're talking shit like about Tatum, like,
yeah.
I'm like, what was all this stuff you said about Jaylen Brown?
Exactly. I don't like. I think Tatum is better, right? But it's not by a big margin.
Yeah,
I think Tatum physically, athletically, he's just better. Like he just has more to work with naturally than Brown does.
Yeah.
But I think Brown, his killer will is better.
Yeah. I think what we're seeing is like the difference between Kobe and T-Mac.
Yeah.
Where T-Mac was so much more talented physically than
I couldn't say it better myself.
Than Kobe, but Kobe played with so much more force.
Yes. It's just the tenacity behind
it. So I think Brown's force when he gets in there, like his points are loud. Like he's going down the middle and just dunking on three guys.
He's not nice.
Yeah, he's not nice about it.
Yeah,
so I think more people are starting to see it, and they're starting to see like, that's what we like to see. We want to see a guy get pissed off and go in there. That's why we love Jordan.
Show emotion.
That's why we love Kobe.
Yeah.
And and Kobe was a number 2 for a while before he before Shaq left.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So. And I'm not saying like Brown is Kobe. I don't want anybody to be thinking.
Yeah,
well, I'm just trying to use him as an analogy, like saying that like T-Mac was just like more in my eyes. He was more talented than Kobe.
Physically, 100%.
Physically,
there's no question.
He was like almost like, was he like 6'8"? But he might have been like 6'9", 6'10". Some people say he was like a lot taller than 6'8".
Yeah, he was KD before KD.
Yeah,
like
just crazy skills. Yeah. Same thing. Like you can even say Kobe and KD. Like KD I think is way more skilled than Kobe. Like all the shit he could do.
Yeah.
But if you ask me who you want leading your team, I'm saying give me Kobe. Like.
Yeah, that's and same thing with LeBron. You could say that, but you could throw LeBron in there too. Like they're physically better, but the heart and the killer will that Mike and Kobe had.
So I think Tatum and Brown, they need each other. Like Brown is that force that you need, and then freaking JT's that superstar skills.
When has LeBron won championships?
when
he has a killer next to him.
Yeah.
That's the comparison I've always said. It's like LeBron is like he's a better Pippen, but he's not Michael.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if I'm a GM, right, and I have, because I look at it that way, since I'm not
that is kind of true.
If I'm looking at it, if I have LeBron, I'm looking for a killer to put against side him.
They thought they had one. They thought they had one in AD, but AD's not.
Hell no, that's worse. He's worse than LeBron. Two nice guys. Like, come on, I can't deal with this. That's why they don't win. They're two nice guys.
That's true. Because Kyrie, when he had Kyrie, he was a freaking killer.
When he had LeBron, when he had Wade
was a killer too.
Like you could see LeBron's demeanor is different. When he has a killer next to him, he's different.
Well, yeah, because the killer is gonna push you. Like,
exactly. Like it's the same thing what Jordan did with Pippen. Like Pippen was not gonna be as good.
I think we're so used to seeing the killer
be the best
player. So it's like, so people are like confused. They're like, oh, is Brown the best or is Tatum the best? Like, no, it's been the same equation. It's just one is more of a killer. Yeah, and the way he does it.
And it's just, if you look at it, you could break it down with LeBron. Like if you look at the 4 quarters when he played with Kyrie, when he played with Wade, in the 4 quarters, those are the dudes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Shaq and Kobe. In the 4th quarter, Kobe's the dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm a GM, I'm always looking for a person that has more of a killer will than LeBron. Because if not, it doesn't work. Like, obviously it doesn't work. Because the guy could, like, just phase out for whatever reason. Like, and that's why he's number 2. Or number 3. Either one. Because I'm taking Kobe and Jordan. And 5 minutes in a game, I'm taking those 2 before LeBron.
5 minutes in a game easily.
Like, there's not even a question.
Yeah, I would need to see.
I'll take it. There's more people. I'll take Kyrie maybe too. I'll take Dwayne Wade more than LeBron. Like, I'll be honest. Like,
I don't know about Dwayne, but I'll definitely Kobe.
Healthy Dwayne was a problem. So I'm biased for Dwayne. Like, so I'm not gonna. But like those dudes are like, even the teammates, like the Miami Heat's teammates were saying, like when Wade said something at the end of the games, like everybody was like, okay, like they believed, like
and I think that's what we're seeing in Boston. We're seeing we're seeing the alpha and then the best player, and they're not the same player. Usually, when you go to a team, the alpha and the best player are the same person, but now in this situation, it's not.
Exactly, and I think this is a change because we haven't seen that before in sports.
Yeah. So I think they're killing Tatum for no reason. I'm like, all right, he was never an alpha type player.
He's nice.
He's a nice guy. He wants to shake hands. He wants to take pictures. Like, let him be that guy. That's what he wants to do.
Exactly.
And then let JB be the dog on the floor, just like fighting everybody and saying, give me Luka, give me whoever the best player on the other team is.
I think that's always been the story on any basketball team. There's always 2 or 3 guys. And it's usually only 2, but there's always 2 guys. And the success always depends on if the number 2 guy is comfortable being there and he doesn't want the light.
Yeah.
Because when you have 2 people that want the light, like Shaq and Kobe out towards the end, it was just 2 people that are battling for the same. When you have to be able to, one has to be able to not want that status. Even if he might be the best player, he has to be able to, like just be comfortable there.
That is true. JB has handled the disrespect very well.
100%. Man, listen, if we win this year, I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to beat us. Again, if the whole team stays together, like I feel like once we pass this hurdle with especially with Tatum, when he sees what it takes, like I think it's going to be hard to kill us off. It's going to be a battle for anybody. Avoiding injuries or anything like that, it's going to be tough.
Do you think Milwaukee's kind of upset that they got rid of Drew Holiday?
100%. That is again.
They did him dirty.
Yeah, they did.
And they sent them to Portland, though. They sent them to Portland to die. That's personal when you send them to Portland.
That's fucked up.
You sent me to Portland. That's personal.
Look what's happened when he's gone, since he's been gone out of there.
But it's crazy, though. Like, when his first year in Milwaukee, they win the championship. His first year in Boston, they win the championship. Like, that.
He's great, man.
He might with this run, if he wins another one, he might have a Hall of Fame ballot, waiting for him.
I think so, especially on deep. The guy's been best defense at least in the top 3 best defensive players for like 10 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's
and he still doesn't get a lot of love or like talked. Like he doesn't. I don't know what it is about like the media and certain players. It's like stop focusing on what like just focus on like what they do in the game, please. Like I would love that a little bit more because some of these people talk a lot and they have a big social media and they pop out here and there and then they make all this noise outside of basketball and then all of a sudden they're like you know they get treated with a different attitude, and I don't like that because
Drew should be getting a lot more love. Drew, man, Horford, man.
Yeah, but I'm biased for that one. I'm not. To me, Horford has been like a great player always.
Did you see the statistics? I forget the exact numbers of him when he was covering Luka.
Yeah,
like he did statistic wise, he did the best against Luka for the Celtics. Like,
yeah, and it's been like think about what happened when he was gone from Boston. We like for whatever the reason, locker room is not the same. Like this, you know,
he left, bro. Like they did him dirty when he left too.
I don't know because I heard a story that he did this. They talked to him about this, and they did this for a reason, and they always knew he was coming back. Like
I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard the story, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but it was like I heard something like that it was like planned. Shit, somebody's calling me. But yeah, like I heard those stories of like it was a little bit of a plan. Like they made this deal to him of like we're bringing you back.
Well, you're talking about when he went to Philly, or you're talking about when he went to OKC?
When he went to OKC.
Oh, okay. OKC, they weren't planning to play him at all.
Yeah.
Bro, I saw one of the like DMPs. I'm hoping it's made up.
Yeah.
The internet be lying, but like it said like old next to it. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
They just put him a DMP for like some random reason.
If you look at all his like numbers in the playoffs, his numbers always go up.
Yeah.
So like he's always played good.
Yeah, but OKC wasn't making a playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like
not back then.
We just need you to like talk to the young guys, make sure they're not out wilding out.
Exactly.
Kind of like be like a Haslam, but like the thing is he had juice in the tank.
Exactly. Same thing with Philly. I don't think Philly played him.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so Horford was like an Embiid stopper for a little bit.
Yeah.
So Philly was like, all right, let's take the Celtics stopper, bring him here.
Take him out, yeah.
But the thing is, Philly's style does not work with Horford. Like you couldn't have him and Embiid out there. Because usually Horford is our center.
Exactly.
So Horford's out there with four kind of guards out there. So Horford is like playing in space. But you got Embiid posting up, and you got Horford. You got the whole paint clogged up.
Exactly.
So the Phillies didn't even think about like, how is this even gonna work? How am I gonna start Embiid without Horford in there, and they're both posting up, and everything is in the paint, and no one can drive.
Yeah, it's to me they did it like that was messed up. Like that he should have never left Boston. To me.
Yeah, well, I think
better.
Didn't that happen like after the whole Kyrie yeah, that's what happened. Like after the whole Kyrie, the whole locker room went apart. Like I think Horford was like, let me get out of here. Like this is getting even Marcus Morris left too. Like I like Morris.
Exactly.
He has the worst luck.
Both of them. But
he's better. He's better, but his younger brother. I'm not the younger brother. They're twins. But like. Markieff has good luck. What do you mean? Like he was on the Lakers when they won, and he's on Dallas right now.
Yeah, but he's not getting any minutes almost.
Yeah, but he's always getting traded or ending up some
place.
Yeah, he's always ending. He's always ending. He was in Marcus Morris was he in Cleveland? Like that's where he ended up.
Exactly.
He's always ending up in places like that. Like,
no chance.
No chance. Just like.
What do you think of? So I mean, you're already on record. You think is going to be a sweep, or it might be a sweep, or just 5,
4 or 5. I'll give him a gentleman's sweep, just to be nice. But like I think 4, 5 maybe at the worst. But
what about this game today?
Honestly, I think we win this game.
Yeah, it's like I told you. I think if we win today, it's going to be a sweep most likely.
I think J Kidd. I mean, I think Tatum was going to come out, but I think J Kidd said some stuff that he's gonna have to like. It's like the same thing when Ant-Man said that shit about Kyrie, and you knew Kyrie was gonna come out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got Kyrie next game. You knew Kyrie was gonna respond. You can't just tell a guy at that level, at that elite level, and be like, oh,
somebody's cleaning.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, we got through it then. I guess we got. I guess I asked you everything I wanted to ask. I think Boston's for sure gonna win.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I think if it's not 4 games, it's gonna definitely be in 5. I don't think it's gonna make it out after that.
I don't think they match up well against us. To be honest with you, like
they're not deep enough. They're just everything.
Like
everything's a little.
Like they have, like their way of scoring just doesn't work well against our defense. Like we switch everything,
and we have size everywhere,
and we have guys like because Luka's not the fastest, so Al Horford can stay in front of Luka. He can he doesn't have to like you know what I mean like
you don't have to block him or anything like that.
Just stay in front,
make it hard,
and contest the shot. So
Luka's slow.
Yeah, he's slow, and
that's another point that like if you put an athletic person on Luka, it's a problem. I've noticed it's a
well. They have to be around the same size though.
Yeah,
so
same
like
height.
Because like if you notice every time Derek White's on him, we double.
Yeah,
and there's a couple times we have to double when Pritchard be ending up on him.
Yeah. That's the only thing with Luka is like it doesn't matter. Like an athletic person is gonna tire him out. It's gonna make him work.
And the thing is like if you watch Jaylen Brown's picking him up full court. You know how tiring that shit is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and he's athletic. He's a big. So it's gonna be a long night for Luka.
Yeah, I think the point of pickup is huge. I think the ability to just switch any screen with him, like when you usually have 5 guys that can just cover him. If you look at other teams like Minnesota, who really they have to cover Luka?
Exactly.
You know they have McDaniels, but McDaniels kind of skinny.
Exactly, and then you can't put if Ant is gonna waste all his energy.
Yeah, Ant was gas covering him.
That's another thing. Like they're gonna do like Minnesota is gonna come back because I think this is the first time for Ant, and I don't think his body like he's never felt that before. I think.
Well, honestly, I think they should have honestly get some more defenders.
That too, and also Cat needs to play better.
That's the biggest thing because Cat played one good game and they won that one game,
and that's it.
And I don't know what Cat needs to do. But he needs to like do some soul searching.
Just get tougher.
Like I don't know, do some push-ups.
Yeah, get stronger.
Because I'm like who the hell was covering Cat that whole like think about it, you have Rudy Gobert, who I think Luka was covering him. Like that's another like Gobert. Why aren't you putting like Luka on the block and just turn in dunking on him?
Exactly.
And then like who the hell was covering like PJ Washington's like 6'6". Like isn't I think Cat's like around like 6'10".
Exactly.
Like you have 2 legit bigs versus 2 basically guards.
Exactly.
Because they don't like if you look at Dallas, like a lot of times like they're going small.
Yeah, that's what they usually play with. They'll small lineup.
They'll have like Gafford or they'll have like Lively out there as a center. But PJ's playing the power forward and he's like 6'6".
Yeah.
Like right now we have like if you watch the lineup, like I was watching last game, Derek White was covering PJ a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like, like they'll put like Holiday on Kyrie, and then they'll put like Derek White on PJ Washington a lot, or they'll put him on like Derek Jones. But a lot of times I saw Tatum on Jones.
On Jones, yep.
And then I saw like there was like a stretch where like Derek White was covering fucking PJ, and that's our point guard.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like Boston's such in a good place. Like all we need is good leadership, so it doesn't like. Somebody doesn't fuck it up, and we are gonna be in talks of like another dynasty. Like we'll probably be like we don't win 3-peat or none, but we'll be in that talk for a while. I think.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be consecutive, but I think with the team we have, I mean, I think they're pretty locked in for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could see another couple more finals
within those 3 years. From this core.
Maybe,
I don't think Al will be around much, but
yeah, I give Al. If he don't retire this year, I think he'll retire after next year.
If I'm out, if we win, I'm out.
Oh, same here. I'm not chancing it. I'm not chancing it.
I'm out. If we win, that's it.
That's the question. Who do we get if Al's out?
We need somebody though. We would need another type Al player, big man.
Because I don't think we have another Al.
Mm-hmm. And Porzingis is gonna get hurt. We already know this. He's injury prone. So we definitely need somebody else that could ease up Porzingis, so he's not like in the like you said. You have to manage that in the season. So in the playoffs, he's good.
Yeah, because like I like Cornette, but Cornette does not have the mobility of Al on the defensive end.
Exactly.
I mean, we have some solid bigs, but we don't play them.
Exactly.
Tillman, I think he's solid. Keita's. I don't know. They don't play Keita at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a walking 10 and 10. Like, I don't like they don't play his ass
we
at
have
all.
too many players. Like, we have a lot of players, so it's gonna be interesting. But anyway, let's see what happens today, and we're definitely gonna be talking.
Yeah.
Alrighty, another episode down. Thank you, man. At this point, we might as well come up with a show. This is the third time, and I'll see us doing this for a long time. So, thank you. I always appreciate coming. Your time. I know you're busy, so thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, no problem, man.